to our third and final topic, which is future of games. So this topic we've talked about on previous Bitcade episodes, like what consoles we want to see, and like in the next Xbox and the next PlayStation, and the and obviously the current Nintendo console.
Yeah.
But what I found out about, and I never realized, was when I was listening to, I think it was Kind of Funny's podcast, but Jared Petty mentioned that, I think it was him, that we're still living in like the first. We haven't even hit a century of video games.
We're like just 52 years.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder how you got that information. But the thing I wanted to talk about, because yes, it has been 52 years, and we did the math. We're looking here on Wikipedia, and it says like the first gaming sort of thing started in the 1967. It says like 1950s to late 1960s, like, and I don't know. What I'm going to go off of is when we specified when the first generation of video games started, because right now we're I believe in the 8th generation of games. That's the Xbox One, the PS4, and the Nintendo Wii U are the 8th generation. Well, Nintendo is in the 9th generation already.
Oh.
Yeah, because the Wii U came out as the next generation of the Wii, which the Wii was with 360 and PS3.
The Xbox One X, though.
That's still Xbox One. That doesn't count. It has to be a new console to be called its own thing, because the Wii U was a new console. That was not the Wii. You had to buy a whole new piece of hardware to get it. Anyway, so in 1972 is when they're classifying when the first generation, here on Wikipedia, when the first generation of video games are, which is crazy to think about, that we're still only 52 years into video games. So I wanted to talk about, what do we think the next 52 years is going to look like? We're already in 4K and have VR systems. Like over there in the corner, we have a PSVR. So it's like, this is crazy. Well, when the people that created the first video game are still alive. You know, that's so crazy, as of 2018. But like, it's so crazy to think about that. Like, you can't think about that with any other medium. You can't think about the same guy who made movies for the first time, the guy who painted a painting for the first time, the guy who wrote the first sonnet. Like, no one has the first thing anymore, but video games has the first, like, its thing of its media, of its medium, of its cultural phenomenon, which is so crazy to think about. And so I guess, I don't know, I'll let you talk a little bit too. What is, when you think about that first? Let's focus on this. Let's break this down. How do you feel about, you're still in the first 52 years, and you've played video games actually before that? You played video games in the first 50 years of video games.
Well, when you first came to me about this topic, I immediately thought of Ready Player One.
Oh, okay.
Like, just how,
which we both saw together.
Yeah.
Great movie.
How virtual reality was so advanced that it just, that's what life was for those people, was just video games.
Yeah, people would go to jobs in their VR systems. They would go and they would work at plants to like make the VR system. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. So do you think that that's like the next step?
I feel, well, definitely not the next step, probably a few miles down the road.
Oh.
But I feel like it's definitely possible that 100, 150 years down the road that could definitely be a thing.
But see, here's the thing, is like, if VR is now, and it's still kind of in its infant stage. It's kind of a little bit more mainstream now that like Facebook owns Oculus and PlayStation's put out their VR system. But do you really think in 150 years that video games would be there? Because like, think about it. In only like 10 years, we got VR systems.
Yeah, but you got to think all the stuff that they had, though. They had like these full body suits that they could feel pain.
So you feel like that's the future of like, you're going to be in the video game.
I think so.
Okay.
I think it could be.
And that's 50 years from now? Do you think that, or do you think a little
Anywhere
bit
from
lower?
50 to 100. Anywhere between there. Definitely not within the next 20 years.
Because think about it. This
but-
is your children playing video games. That's what that is. The next 50 years would be your children playing video games. So it's
I'll
kind of
be
a
there
weird.
too.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a weird scenario of like, where do you feel that? So let me break it down.
I'll be a 66-year-old man playing video games.
Yeah.
Catch me doing it.
I'm just gonna read the Wikipedia thing of when they feel like generations are a thing. So they classify the first generation from 1972 to 1980. Second generation is 1976 to 1992. Third generation is 83 to 03. Fourth generation is 87 to 04. Because I feel like the 03 thing is and the reason why 83 happened is because I think Nintendo also screwed that one up too. Because they kept Nintendo seems to like throw loops and make the generations weird. But I can go more in depth. I can if you want me to. But fifth generation is 93 to 05. Sixth generation is 98 to 2013. Seventh generation is 05 to 2017. And the eighth generation started in 2011 and ongoing because, like I said, the Wii U kicked it off in 2011.
Yeah.
And then in 2015 is when the Xbox One and PS4 started showing up.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yeah, they have the generations all broken down right here.
Oh, I left my Switch at home. Oh, well.
But they have like, first generation, the Odyssey is considered the first video game console. And then second generation, I'll just read like the big names. Second generation contains the Atari 2600, the Intellivision, ColecoVision, and Atari 5200. So some pretty big top dogs in the second generation here. Then they talked about there's some brief
Nintendo 64.
Well, not yet. We haven't gotten there yet. Third generation, we have the Famicom/NES. We also have the Master System, Mark III, and we have the Atari 7800. And then if we go down to the fourth generation, we got some. We have the TurboGrafx. We have Neo Geo. I love some of these old video game names. Like Neo Geo sounds awesome. Just the names of some of them are pretty creative. We have the Genesis. We have the Super Famicom and the Super NES. And then we have the Sega CD/Mega CD. And we have the Neo Geo CD. So we started getting into CDs over there. Then handhelds started to dip their toe into that generation with the Game Boy and the Game Gear. Do you remember playing my Game Gear? It was that big Game Boy Advance looking one.
I remember your Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
But
You did have one of those too. The fifth generation. This is where we got the PlayStation. We got the Sega Saturn. We also got the Nintendo 64, and we got the Apple Pippin.
woo!
Yeah, rest in peace. 42,000 units, which is more than I thought even that was going to happen. There's also the Atari Jaguar. There's a lot of, by the way, go check out this Wikipedia page. It looks pretty in-depth of they have when it was released in Japan, when it was released in North America, how many units were sold, when it was released in Europe, all these different things. So it's pretty cool. We also got in the handheld, we got the Virtual Boy, which was VR back then. And it's this laser red. It made people get headaches because it was all you were looking at was red on black, and it would just give you.
Makes sense. I'd give headaches.
And then there was the Game Boy Pocket, and then there was the Game Boy.
That was the little rectangle one, the Game Boy Pocket, right?
No, I don't think that one.
What was the square?
Maybe that one was. Maybe that one was it. Then there was the Game Boy Color. Then the Game Boy Light, and the let's see here, Neo Geo Pocket, which I never even heard that. And Wonder Swan, what? And the Wonder Swan Color. And then we jumped into the sixth generation, which was the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox, which is the start of when we are getting into this whole modern consoles as we know it kind of thing. Sega lasted in there with that Dreamcast for a little while, and then it just kind of didn't work out. But we also got the Game Boy Advance, which was I had a Game Boy Advance, and the N-Gage Oh boy. 7th generation was the one that you jumped into, which was the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo
Well, my
Wii.
first console was your PS2.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So you jumped in during the 6th generation. I jumped in 6th generation as well. Actually, no. We skipped the Nintendo 64, didn't we? Yeah, right here. It's in the Nintendo 64 is in the 5th generation. Maybe I did read it off. Yeah, because I went PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Apple Pippin.
And I did play your color a lot, so
That's
I
true.
did jump in pretty
That's
early.
true. I would say I jumped in 5th generation, and then you kind of followed that. But then after, so during that 7th generation, we also got the Nintendo DS and the PlayStation Portable, aka the PSP.
Wait, you skipped one?
Did I?
Yeah, you didn't say that one.
Yeah, I did. 360, PS3, and Wii.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the 6th, 7th generation. And then we jumped into the 8th generation, which is the Wii U, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Oh, they marked down the Nintendo Switch a part of the 7th generation, which is interesting. Because I would almost classify that as the 9th generation. But then also they're including the Nintendo 3DS and the PlayStation Vita as the handheld consoles of that era.
Really?
But that's pretty much it. So I would say technically we're in the 9th generation, just because of the Switch. But this Wikipedia page is actually classifying it as a part of the 8th. So,
Germination.
but that's quite a jump. That's 52 years of video games right there, and that's a lot of technological advances right there.
Do you
Like we
think-
went from cartridge to CD-ROMs to Blu-rays, and then to digital, and like. It's
Speaking of digital, do you think we will ever have a holographic type game? Like a hologram-y
I
type
think
deal?
52 years from now, yes.
Okay.
I think we would.
All right.
I think we would go to an arcade, and that would be there. I don't know if it'll be home console, though, because that seems like a lot of hardware. But then again, I didn't think VR was going to be possible when I was playing my PS2. So, hey, you know what? Who knows?
Somebody will do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird thinking about we're still living in the like if you look at history, technically we're still at the beginning. We're still in the beginning. We have not hit video games to be 100 years old.
Yeah, we're
yet.
just barely half a century.
Yeah. So it's like it's kind of crazy how there's so much movement and technology is it's pushing its advancements in gaming. We didn't even talk about PCs, but this is just the video games in your home on the console. I guess we did mention the TurboGrafx or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, people were freaking out about the whole digital thing when Xbox announced that we were gonna do digital stuff. We won't even need a disc drive, and then everyone's like freaked out about it. But now everyone buys their stuff digitally.
Yeah, I
So-
like to.
So it's like there's this whole thing that we didn't even think was possible. Like when you were playing online with your PlayStation 2, which I never did, but when you were playing online with your PlayStation 2, you would have never thought that a couple years later we're going to get the Xbox 360 and it would change online gaming, even though Xbox did have Xbox Live. But
Yeah.
Xbox 360 changed it and put it into what it is now, into making it like it's a paid service. You can get you can play games from across the world. Like it definitely made video games what it is, and it's part of the reason with like Halo. Halo definitely changed the whole, because stepping back to the Xbox,
And you definitely meet some interesting people online.
there's definitely interesting
That-
people, yeah.
Just
They're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you got those weird people.
Funny
People, but weird people.
So they've heard me talk for a little while. So I wanna talk with you. What are some if you were to highlight some of these let's go back in time to when you feel like you haven't. So in the 8th generation, which is our current one, we have the Wii U, PS4, Xbox One, and again, for this Wikipedia's sake, Nintendo Switch. Are there any iconic games that you've been playing this generation that are that stand out to you?
Like video games or consoles?
Either or, I guess.
Well, PS2 is like my first.
Are you?
Oh.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go forward in time? Because we can go forward in time.
Wherever. I didn't know where you wanted me to start.
Let's go forward in time.
Okay.
So we didn't jump in until
That's
this one. This is when I jumped in. So we'll go here first. So the 5th generation, you played it a little bit of the 64, right?
we did the other day, didn't we?
Yeah. I have my Pikachu edition 64. So you actually got to play GoldenEye for the first time. How'd that feel for you?
Well, the table isn't broken, so.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It's definitely it is the game changer though. It is the first
fun.
NFL Blitz is pretty fun.
Blitz is hella fun.
Yeah, there is a Let's Play, not with him and I, but with Josh and I, and he destroyed me.
On Blitz?
Yeah. He scored 100 and like some odd points, and I
Dang.
scored 60 some odd points.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It goes pretty fast. We also played 6-minute quarters.
Oh.
So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, NFL Blitz is really good. Pokemon Stadium was also one I played a lot. Hey You Pikachu, which I might have to go and like look up to try and find again. My dad had a PlayStation, and my dad has not the Sega. He had a PlayStation as well, but I never played it. So
I was gonna say, going back to the NES, Donkey Kong, that game was the shiz.
Oh, because you played the NES Classic.
Yeah.
So you got to play a little bit of that. We actually did a whole Let's
And
Play of the NES Classic.
Galaga. I love Galaga.
That is definitely a good one. Yeah, if you guys want to see both of us play the NES Classic, that is on the YouTube channel. So. Yeah. Wow, spoilers. Go see what else the games we play though. But you like the NES? You like how it feels?
Yeah, I love the old games.
Because I mean, you practically it's pretty much the NES. You played on the controller. We played it on. The only thing was you didn't play it on CRT TV. So
yeah, play it on a monitor.
Yeah. So it's like
I didn't have to hear the brrrr from the TV.
That's true. That's very true. That was the previous generation, or actually, that was 2 generations before this. We're skipping around here. But we also had let's see here. Actually, I didn't have any of these ones.
Yeah, I can't talk about any of those.
So the 6th generation. 6th generation was a little light. It had the Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. I had a PS2. I was a PlayStation kid when it says there were 155 million units sold. And Xbox had 24 million.
Dang, rip Xbox.
And GameCube had 21. Almost 22 million. And Dreamcast had 9 million. Rest in peace.
I don't even know what that was.
That's the Sega Dreamcast. That was Sega's last console, I think. We'll find out. But you had a PlayStation 2 as well, because you had my old PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I think you went over to Xbox and I took your PlayStation.
I actually bought a Wii.
Oh,
that was when I was trying to get a whole bunch of money to buy the Nintendo Wii.
I loved the Wii.
Wii Sports. But what are some PlayStation 2 games you really liked?
Driver.
Driver's a good one.
Cars. Cars was a good game.
Cars?
Hey,
the Pixar Cars game?
Yeah. Okay. I had a little Cars controller.
You did. You had a Lightning McQueen Cars controller.
Yeah,
it was
loved
really
Cars.
plasticky, but it was definitely.
I loved Cars.
We still have it. It's over there in the library.
There was some Mortal Kombat. My dad really liked that one.
Mortal Kombat's great.
There was another horror game that
The Suffering.
Shitless.
The Suffering. I still haven't played that game. We might have to do a Let's Play for that.
Oh my god. Well, it's probably not going to be as scary.
I don't know.
That game.
There's some old scary games that still scare me.
That game was hella scary. We gotta. Yeah, that's a good idea. We gotta do a Let's Play on that.
Okay. But yeah, I think that's all. I didn't have a GameCube or an Xbox. I always heard about Xbox. Jared had an Xbox.
I know Hayden had a GameCube.
That's weird. We all had 3 different consoles. And then in the handheld market, we had the Game Boy Advance. I guess we skipped the Game Boy Color up there, but anyway. So we'll throw that in this this conversation as well. So you had a Game Boy? I had a Game Boy as well.
I don't remember having one for my own. I thought it was yours.
No, it was mine. My dad had a Game Boy as well, and he didn't use it anymore because he eventually got a Game Boy Advance SP.
That's right, I remember.
And so I had 2 Game Boys, and I let him have one, and I had one because I wanted to play Pokemon with somebody. and you never really got into Pokemon because you were still too young
No,
to
I was
understand what was happening.
I was
so.
always playing that SpongeBob game.
Yes, that SpongeBob game was pretty fun. It was really hard though.
It was really hard, but it was really fun.
I had the Game Boy Advance, and I mean it's pretty much just a Game Boy.
Yeah.
81 million units, almost
God.
82 million units of the Game Boy Advance, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. That's a lot of Game Boys. And then we jump into the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii.
Wee.
I have 2 of the 3 consoles. I owned all 3 of these consoles at some point in time.
You got to get the Wii back.
I have debated about it.
I want Wii Sports.
That one was interesting.
I love
Wii
bowling.
Sports definitely sold the Wii.
It did.
It's very like because anyone could play it.
I know I really loved that tank game. Do you remember what it was?
That was on Wii Play.
That was a very fun game.
And that required the nunchuck, which is why it came with like another controller and a nunchuck.
Yeah.
But the 360 was your first console, right? That was one you owned.
Yeah, I remember.
No one else owned it before you. You owned it, right?
No. Because I remember you always had me trying to play Halo.
Yeah, but the 360, that was your first, like, it wasn't a second-hand console, right?
Like a hand-me-down?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
360 was officially my first console.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of zombies.
It's crazy. When you look at here, the units sold, Xbox, even though more people talked about the Xbox, more people bought an Xbox or a PlayStation 3.
Oh, geez, by like
So-
15 million?
Yeah, it's like Xbox 360 sold 84 million, and I'm not going to say the other numbers. It's about almost 85 million.
Oh, I thought that
And PlayStation 3 almost sold 86 million.
Jeez, you didn't see that?
And the Wii sold 101 million, almost 102 million units,
I can't even see that.
which is crazy. It's very blurry, but I can see it. But yeah, it's kind of insane to think about, like, consoles started getting in the millions the farther we're going into it. But yeah, I Xbox 360 was probably I would say Xbox 360 was the point when I became a gamer.
Yeah, same.
Because I owned the other consoles and I played them. I was a video game player, but I didn't become a gamer until, like, diving in, watching the Let's Play. Like, YouTube also became kind of a big deal in around 2005. Well, yeah, because I think YouTube became a thing in 2005.
Yeah.
But it was also like I didn't get into 360 until I think 2007. But I immediately started loving the fact that I could play with
Other
my
people.
friends. Like, you had those conversations at school about, dude, that was so crazy last night at Call of Duty World at War. Like, zombies was a really intense thing to always talk about, and there was so much other stuff that you could talk about, and yeah, I loved it. I loved my Xbox 360.
Yeah, I still have mine.
Yeah. I don't have my original one. I eventually had to sell my Elite because the tray was starting to act up. So
Yeah.
I went into GameStop.
I don't have my original, but I do still have a 360.
Yeah, I went into GameStop and then traded it in. Just
Oh, wait,
before it
you don't have
almost
that-
broke.
You don't have that Gears of War one?
No. I had an Elite. That was my Xbox.
Oh,
And then
I did have
Then
an
I
Elite.
traded it in for a PS3 and got the blue PS3. And I played that for a while, and then I was like, "Man, I really want my 360 back."
Oh, that's
and then
when
I
you were
went
playing,
and
like,
bought.
Diablo and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then I went and bought the 360 again, and I had the Gears of War one, which I think is a nice thing to have
I like the
now
sound
in
it
my
makes.
collection. Well, I like to add it into my collection because not only is it the console that got me into video games, but it is the video game that got me into video games. Like, Gears of War made me that, like, oh man, like, video games are more than just playing it and sitting down and playing it for a while.
Yeah.
Like, the story is just amazing. So, but let's move on here. The Nintendo DS and the PlayStation Portable. I had both of these
I
as well.
loved the DS.
You had a DS Lite though, right? You didn't have the original DS, the big fat gray thing, the clam. You had a DS Lite. Did yours light up in the back, or did it light in the front? What did your DS look like, James?
It was like the rectangle.
Okay, so you had a DS Lite because the It's pretty obvious when you have an original DS because it's like this big fat thing. It's like it looks like it's from the early 2000s.
Oh, wait, okay, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah,
I had
a
one
DS
of those.
Lite. I had a DS Lite.
Yeah, I had one of those and I broke it. I snapped it in half because I played Ghosts and Goblins. If you've ever played that game, you know how rage-inducing it is.
You
But
actually broke it.
I snapped it in half like it was nothing. It was already broken because those hinges were stupidly put on, but you could still play it because it wasn't like broken yet. And then there's like just one little part. As long as you don't break that part, then the DS still works. But I got so mad, I slammed it down onto my bed and it snapped it in half.
What'd Mom say when you did that?
I lied about it. And then I eventually had to tell the truth because I said it fell off my bunk bed, and then it almost played out like a like a movie where they're like, "Well, I'm glad you told us the truth." And I was like, "All right." I had to like come clean.
Wait, what did she say?
I had a feeling they knew because they were not really that mad about it. They were disappointed that I broke it, but yeah, it was just something. They weren't as mad as I thought they were gonna be. I eventually did get a DS Lite. And
I remember we played Pokemon a lot on it.
Yep. I also had a PSP, which I think that was my main go-to. Like I didn't really play because PSP was like where you could play real games, and then Nintendo DS was like you could play your Nintendo games and whatnot. But yeah, I played a lot of the PSP. Played Madden on the PSP. Played WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 on the PSP, which was awesome. It was just really cool. The PSP was a great console. Sold 82 million units, while the Nintendo DS sold 154 million units. That's including the DS Lite, though. So I call bullshit on that. And then the Wii U, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, which is where our current stuff is. Never owned a Wii U. Oh, we didn't. We kind of talked about the Wii U a little bit earlier, though.
Yeah.
But I never never bought a Wii U. I have a PS4, I have an Xbox One, and I have a Nintendo Switch. You have an Xbox One and a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
How are you liking both of those? How do you feel about this generation compared to the others? What was that?
It stinks over here.
What?
It stinks over here.
Okay. You want to make that known to them?
No.
It's already there now.
What was the question?
What do you feel about this generation compared to the last generation?
Oh, I like it. It's more graphic, I guess.
More graphic?
Like more detailed, more. You can tell that the developers have spent more time in their new generation games rather than the old generation.
Like, do you feel like you feel like they're not pressured into coming out with a game constantly. They can easily just go, "Hey, you know what? We could take a break. People are going to buy our game." Or do you feel like, because like to me, I feel like the reason why it looks better is because these consoles are more powerful, so it allows the developer to kind of go beyond. Because the problem is what PC gamers have with us is PC master race is what they always say, because they can build a way better console.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So it's kind of like now that consoles are starting to compete with the PC a little bit more. Man, I am having a trouble.
I definitely love the new generation consoles compared to the last generation.
Okay. So you like your Xbox One more than your 360?
Yes.
Okay. Is it
more? Yeah.
Now, not thinking about the games, what is it about the one that you like about more than the 360?
It looks better.
Oh, okay. You like the more sleeker, flatter. Well, now I would say black version, but you have a white Xbox One.
Yeah, I still have my original Xbox One.
Yeah.
I've never had to replace it.
I never replaced mine. Mine's at my dad's though. I just bought an Xbox One X because I got the Scorpio edition, so
yeah,
I wanted that.
Mine was the Halo Master Chief Collection,
the limited run white edition. And then what about your Nintendo Switch? How you feeling about that? You've had it for a couple months now. You've had it since your birthday.
Mm-hmm. So I've had it for about two months. Two and a half.
How are you feeling? You're a new Switch owner.
I like it.
Yeah. More than the Wii.
It's a pretty fun console.
That stumped you a little bit. You need time to think about that. I had my Switch since pretty close to launch, and I love it. I love playing it but I play it as my portable. I use it as my portable device. I don't use it as a home console. I use my Xbox One or my PS4 as my home console. My Switch is I'm at PAX, I'm at Disneyland, I'm on an airplane. Like, that's my console. That's what I look at it as. What are you struggling over there with?
Just thinking about the Switch and the Wii.
So what is it about the Wii that you like so much?
That it's more active.
Oh, you liked the fact of standing up, huh?
Yeah.
You never owned it, so there was that too. Like, because for me, you did play my Wii.
I played your Wii a lot.
Yeah, but the problem was when I was standing, and anytime I wanted to play the Wii, which is part of the reason why I bought a 360, was like, yeah, but I gotta stand up and play this thing. Like,
yeah, but you also
I can't sit down. I eventually learned how to sit down and play the game.
Yeah, but you also had like a really small room, and it was really hard to do stuff.
That's true. But it's like, it wasn't designed to be in like some person's bedroom. It was designed to be in like a living room.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem with it.
So like, I feel like a Wii is more of a family console, and a Switch is more of like a personal console.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
So that's my opinion on it.
They're
both good consoles.
Yeah. So what are you thinking about your Switch so far, though? How do you look at it as? Because like I was saying, I like to travel with it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I took mine to Disneyland
Mm-hmm.
when I got food poisoning.
That's for a different time. But like the Nintendo Switch though, you've been playing. What games do you have for it?
I've been playing a lot of Paladins.
Oh, okay.
Fortnite every here and there. Been playing Mario Kart 8. Bought Minecraft recently.
Yeah, that's true.
That was
It's crazy how Minecraft and Microsoft and Nintendo like worked with each other on this game so much that like there are settings in the game that you can switch it so that in your brain you can switch it to the same controls as what it would be on the Xbox.
It helps.
The letters won't be the same, but
the
button layout will be the same.
Yeah.
But I've played the Switch so much that I actually can't play Minecraft in Xbox mode. I have to play it in the Switch mode. Because, like, to me, when I'm playing on the Switch, that's what my brain is telling me. I'm on the Switch, so these are the buttons.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's how I look at it now. But it is cool that the setting is there.
Yeah.
It's cool that that exists. So, and then rounding it off is these handhelds with the Nintendo 3DS and the PlayStation Vita, which I have both of those. You have a 3DS as well.
Yes, I do. Once I ended up getting my Switch, it kind of
sits there now.
Yeah.
Same with mine. Mine is sitting there, just kind of rotting in its own.
I'm not gonna get rid of it because it was a limited thing. But
yeah. My Vita, I have my Vita still.
I can't believe you got rid of your white one. I really wish you didn't do that.
Yeah, but then I started thinking about it. Now I'm kind of okay with it because all my consoles are black. So I'm kind of okay with that. Yeah, see that would be a thing.
I like how the white, other than the Xbox 360, I think all consoles look better white.
Well, to me, they just stick out. They kind of don't fit on an entertainment system well. Like when you go over there and look at all my game consoles, like the things that stick out are the 360 because it's red and black, and the Nintendo 64 because it's the Pikachu one. Everything else is all black. So it's like they all kind of fit together. They all kind of look like they kind of go together.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you get a white console that just sticks there. I'm not saying the white consoles are bad because obviously the 360 was white originally and like all these other consoles.
Did they ever have
a
black Wii?
They did eventually.
I thought
later down the road.
Yeah.
But there is a black Wii, and I think it has internal memory if I remember, or I might be remembering the Wii U. Because there is a black Wii U because there was a Mario bundle with it.
Yeah, Kent has the black Wii U.
Which is pretty cool. I gotta say, the black Wii U. That sleek black. It's pretty cool. But yeah.
I don't think I've actually ever seen a white Wii U. Don't think I
really
have. No.
Yeah, because you only saw Kent, so yeah, they're normally white.
Yeah, I've never seen a white one.
Anything else you want to talk about consoles past or future or whatever? We kind of like went all around. I guess it's kind of the history of games is what it should be. But
I don't really know if I have anything else to really say.
Yeah. It's just kind of something to think about, kind of talk with your friends about it too. I think we'll kind of wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you put in the comment section below of this part what maybe you think video games are going to look like in the future, or maybe take a what's been your favorite video game console or anything that had to do with video games. Obviously, you're watching this podcast, so. But if you've made it to the end of part 3, or you've made it to the end of the full version, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be Bitcade. And it is, that's it. Jameson, you've made it. You've officially made it through your...
Jamal.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Jamal.
you did remember it. You've made it through your first episode of Bitcade. How do you feel? Do you like it? You like doing this?
I had to take it in bits.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. If you guys want to watch more, make sure you definitely hit the subscribe button. Also, make sure you definitely tap the bell button and get notifications when videos get uploaded. If you are watching the video version, guess what? There are audio versions of our podcasts over on iTunes and on Podbean for Android listeners. You can watch the full videos if you want to right here on YouTube. And that's going to be it. Just search Primal Target on everything, and we'll probably be there. Links in the description below for all of our social media. My name was Ryan. Joining me was
Jamal.
and we'll see you guys in the next episode. With the Casey Neistat wave.